so bolster vertically on the mat, blanket to support your head, and then you'll need a blanket to go under each leg. Or blocks, you could use blocks. We're gonna use the strap, but we're not gonna do the around the torso under the legs. We're just gonna take the strap and put it over the legs. And that can still be tightened to as tight as you would like for it to be. You'll need it up in the hip crease and then it goes over the legs, so we'll need over the feet. And then be a few inches in front of the bolster, so when you lay back, the bolster hits you at the edge of your rib cage, the bottom of the rib cage. Blanket under your head, and then you're going to take the extra blankets and slide them. Extra blankets or blocks work too. Slide those extra blankets under your thighs for support. And then just take a minute to notice how your back is touching the bolster, what you feel going on in the shoulders. And take an opportunity to adjust the shoulder blades. So whether it's hands down, elbows down, both down, press down and kind of lift your chest and really tuck the shoulder blades towards your waist. And then you can use your feet to kind of push towards your head, lift your buttocks and tuck your buttocks towards your feet. You want to feel that the shoulder blades are really down on the bolster, not just the tips of the shoulder blades, but the flat, broad part of the shoulder. And then we're going to check in with our breath quite a bit this morning. So I want you to just imagine there's a line drawn from your navel up to your collarbones, straight line right up the middle of your torso. And that's your breathing line. So with each inhalation, imagine your breath is traveling up that line. Starts at the navel, comes up toward the collarbones. But don't be forceful with the breath. Right? So here, early in the practice, maybe the breath only gets up to the lower ribs, or maybe it gets to the middle of your chest. And you'll take 2 or 3 deep breaths, and then you'll just relax control over the breath for 2 or 3 breaths. Just a nice, smooth breath in and out. And as the breath comes up into that rib cage area, feel the expansion side to side, front to back of the rib cage. 2 or 3 breaths on, 2 or 3 breaths off. And finish your next round of deeper inhalations and then just relax. Let the breath flow normally. And then turn your palms down towards the floor. Cross with your palms to sit up. You can release your legs and straighten your legs. All right, we're gonna switch to downward facing for a bit, and then we'll come back to upward facing since it's morning. I don't like to end restorative with downward facing stuff in the morning. It leaves me sluggish. So let's take cross legs and then support in front, whatever kind of height you want. The only kind of requirement is that you can get your forehead supported. All right, so here with cross legs, let's do a little twist to the right. Twist to the left. And then reach the arms up and find that length in the side torso. And maintaining that length in your side torso, come forward and rest. The head just needs to be able to reach support. And then same exercise with the breath. For me, I feel like the breath starts at the navel though and kind of goes up through the rib cage to the base of my neck. It feels a little less in the front of the body and a little bit more in the back of the body. But just envision that breath originating there in the abdomen as you kind of draw the abdomen in to engage the diaphragm. And feel how high up with each breath you can bring that line. No forcing. No worries if it doesn't get to the base of your neck. Two or three of these deep breaths, and then two or three just, let's say, uncontrolled breath, unforced breath. When you get to your next round of normal breathing, take a couple of breaths and then come up and do the opposite cross of the legs. And then you'll come back forward, lengthening the torso forward and repeat. Nice deep breaths, followed by a couple of normal breaths. Do one more cycle of that. And when you get to the normal breaths, just relax, stay in that normal breath. After you've had a couple of normal breaths at least, then you can press with your hands to sit up. Take your time. Do a little twist to your right. And a little twist to your left. Right, and then if you need height under your buttocks, you can take it. Bring the soles of your feet together. So you'll be in Baddha Konasana. And then you can bring that support up kind of over your toes a little bit. Now this one's harder to come forward in, so if you can't come all the way forward and rest the head, you can take your hands, your elbows, and support your head. Right, if you can come all the way forward and rest the head, maybe you need to add a blanket or two. Same thing here, a couple of deep breaths, couple of normal breaths. See how the position of the legs changes the position of the torso, which may change the feeling of the breath. And when you get back to your next round of normal breathing, take a couple of breaths. Slowly sit up and straighten the legs. Excuse me. Right, so now we'll take Upavista Konasana. If you want height, again, under the buttocks, you can take it. Take the legs wide. May need more height on the bolster for Upavista Konasana. You've got blocks, you've got blankets. I like for restorative weight to put the block under the blanket. Let's do a little twist to the right, twist to the left. And then come forward, resting the head, supporting the arms. Extend out through the inner edges of your heels and turn right there at the top of the thigh, turn that back so your toes stay pointing towards the ceiling, or you can even turn a little bit extra and let the toes go back, and you can kind of rock between straight up in the air and feet rolling back. The legs have quieted a bit. You can just relax and start that same breathing. Breathing from the navel up through the upper back. Nice deep breaths. Feeling the expansion of the rib cage. Feeling those intercostal muscles working. Maintaining this deep breathing is very important as we age, because it gets harder to take those deep breaths the older we get. So just like the asana practice, the breathing is a practice. And then when you get to your next round of normal breathing, take 2 or 3 normal breaths. And when you're ready, press with your hands. Sit up. Stay in the Upavista Konasana. We're not gonna rest the head, but I want you to take a twist to the right leg and just reach out for that right leg. Maintain kind of a concave back position and turn the belly to the right. And just take a couple of deep breaths there. And then come up, do the same to the left. Turn to the left, reach over there and hold that left foot. Turn the belly. Just stay upright in your concave back. Couple of deep breaths. Okay, and then release. You can bring your legs together through Baddha Konasana. And then you'll take your left leg straight, keep your right leg bent, and you'll bring that right leg into Janu Sirsasana. You'll have your support for your head, support for your knee if you need it. And we'll start with a twist towards that left side. And then maintaining the turn of the abdomen, the chest will go straight down, but maintaining that turn of the abdomen, come down to Janu Sirsasana. A couple of times, turn that belly from the right to the left. And same breathing pattern, 2 or 3 deep breaths, starting at the navel, coming up through the upper back. And then a couple of normal breaths. And the next time you get to your normal breath, take those couple of normal breaths. And then with your hands, you can press yourself up. Seated position, straighten that right leg. And bend the left leg for Janu Sirsasana. Support the knee as needed. We'll start with the twist to the right. It's a little bit of an untwisting feeling. So take your time. And then maintaining that turn of the abdomen, come forward and come to your Janu Sirsasana. Deep breaths from the navel up through the upper back. Couple of those, and then a couple of normal breaths. You get back to your normal breathing, take a couple of breaths. And with your hands, and slowly press to sit up. Take your time. Straighten the leg, and then your feet can stay a little apart. Sit up tall, and we'll take a Paschimottanasana. Right, so take the arms out to get that length in the torso. Come forward, press that. Same pattern of breathing. Deep breaths from the navel through the upper back. Couple of normal breaths after. Get to your next cycle of normal breathing. Take a couple of normal breaths. And then you use your hands to press and sit up. Come to a cross leg position. Twist to your right. And twist to your left. All right, let's take two blankets. Bolsters tend to be a bit too poofy. Two blankets folded lengthwise, stacked on top of each other. And those are going to go horizontally across your mat. You'll leave some space for your head above those blankets. And plenty of space for your legs below the blankets. We're going to start with bent legs, right? And you'll sit about 4 inches in front of those blankets. When you come down onto the blankets, you want to be able to take your head to the floor and have your armpits above the blankets, just barely. So my shoulders are not touching the floor, but I can easily take my arms out straight or bring them into a cactus position, whatever feels most comfortable. Now, it won't be like a Sarvangasana, back of your head on the floor. It will be a Shirshasana position for the head. You'll be kind of at the occiput there. So if that's uncomfortable at all, you can pull a little blanket to pad that pointy part of your head on the floor. Okay, now take your arms, you're going to take your elbows onto the blankets. Your fingers or your fists will point up towards the ceiling. Press down into the blanket and lift your chest up and tuck the shoulder blades. Your head might even come up. If you're just going to feel like you're bringing the flat part of the shoulder blade onto the blanket. Right, and then you can push with your feet a little bit so the blanket grabs those shoulder blades, and you can slide again to where your armpits are free of the blanket. Arms can go back out to the sides. Support it however you need to, yeah. Right, and then press into your feet and lift your buttocks up and tuck your buttocks strongly toward your heels. Try to bring part of the sacrum down onto the floor. Maybe just the base of the sacrum, but more sacrum than sit bones. And now you're coming back to that navel to collarbone breathing. Big deep breaths, 2 or 3, and then a couple of just normal breaths. When you get to a cycle of normal breathing, walk your feet and your knees towards each other. Just touch your feet, touch your knees, yep. And then you're going to very intentionally straighten your right leg and then straighten your left leg. You'll extend through the inner edges of the feet and press the tops of your thighs down. So it's more Tadasana legs than Shavasana legs. It doesn't have to be a real intense effort, but you're keeping the knees nice and straight. You're keeping the toes, the big toe knuckles touching each other. And then 2 deep breaths from the navel to the collarbones. And then normal breaths. And after 2 or 3 normal breaths, you can bend your knees again, put your feet on the floor. And then you'll gently roll to one side or the other and just immediately sit up. Don't rest on the blankets. Just come to an upright position. Sit up tall in any comfortable leg position. Right? We're gonna grab a chair now. You'll need blanket, sticky mat, bolster, maybe 1 or 2 blankets. We're gonna do a well supported Viparita Dandasana. You don't need a sticky mat under your chair. So if you only have one, you can use that one to go on the seat of the chair. Fold that mat into quarters and rest it on the seat of the chair. And then because it's restorative weight, we'll put a blanket on top of that sticky mat just to be a little less aggressive, a little more padding. And then there are lots of things you can use to support your head. If you've done the one block supporting the back of your head and that works for you, you can do the one block. If you want something a little bit softer, you can do the bolster. And then you'll have to figure out the amount of height you need on top of that bolster. So I did last night a tri-fold blanket and that worked pretty good for me. And you'll want a little bit of distance. You want that bolster sticking out a little bit. That way, if you want to take the arms over the head, you have something you can rest your arms on. All right, so we're just taking a very well-supported Viparita Dandasana. Several things you can do with your arms, right? So first off, when you first come down, buttocks are off, shoulder blades are on, and you're coiling over that edge of the chair and bringing the head down to rest. You can stay with holding the back of the chair. You can come off enough that you can reach through and hold the back legs of the chair. Or you can take the elbows, hold the elbows and rest the forearms on that support over your head. You can also take the arms straight. And you can also go back and forth in between 2 or all of those to find something comfortable. Turn your toes slightly in towards each other and press your feet down, the inner edges of your feet down into the floor, and lift your tailbone up slightly. So with those buttocks muscles engaged, tops of the buttocks moving towards the knees, you keep some length in the lower back. You'll keep some width in the lower back. Now, breathing from the navel to the collarbones. Much different breath. With the front of the body stretched as much as we have it. Take those normal breaths in between 2 or 3 deep breaths. And remember, you can change the position of your arms as needed, and that's going to change the breath.
You may, if you would like, straighten your legs. You'll do it the way we just did, where you walk your feet and your knees towards each other. It might not come all the way to touching. And you'll straighten one leg and then straighten the other. And you'll press down at the tops of the thighs as you extend through the heels. Pull the toes up towards your shins to activate the legs. And then inner knees, inner thighs down. Grip at your outer buttocks to make the buttocks engage. That will lift your tailbone up a bit. Arms can be in any comfortable position. Try to get in 2 more cycles of deep breath, normal breath, deep breath, normal breath. When you get to your next round of normal breathing, start to slowly come out. Make sure you're holding some part of the chair, bending the knees, getting the feet onto the floor. And to come up, pull with your arms to sit up. Scoot the buttocks back into the chair. And when you're ready, take a twist to your right. And a twist to your left. And then just for a moment, kind of round forward over the chair. And slowly come up. All right, we're done with the chair. So you can put the chair back if you would like. One more back bend, less intense than that was. You'll take a bolster vertically on your mat. And you take a strap. And that strap is going to be about, not quite, but about that width apart. I've got about 1 inch on each side of my strap. We'll sit on that end of the bolster. Take the strap around the feet, not the ankles, just the feet. Sit on that very edge of the bolster and lay down. And then you're gonna slide. This time the shoulders are going to come pretty close to the floor. Let the shoulder blades kind of stick to that end of the bolster. So you end up feeling the edge of the bolsters right there at your mid upper back. Arms can go into any comfortable position. And then you can walk your feet out and straighten the legs. So they're pretty wide because they have to kind of be on each side of the bolster.
And then since we've got the strap there, you can just let them relax. If the toes kind of turn in, that's fine, or if they drop out, that's fine. Just have them comfortable. I find it kind of helps to press my heels down into the floor and kind of get that grip of the buttocks to make the tailbone move in. If you don't feel comfortable with the legs straight, then just rebend the knees and put the soles of the feet on the floor. Now just observe your breath. We've done so much intentionally deep breathing that if you just observe your breath here, is it coming a little bit smoother and a little bit deeper? You're not trying to take the deepest breath possible. But you're keeping your attention on that inhalation and observing the natural depth of that breath. Couple more deep breaths. And then slowly bend one knee. You can pull the foot out of the strap and then bend the other knee. Place your feet onto the floor. And you're gonna come out off this bolster either by just rolling to your side, or you can kind of push towards your head, slide until the sacrum is on the edge of the blanket or bolster, and then you can push the bolster between the feet. If you've got the bolster positioned there at your tailbone, then just cross your legs and rest your legs on the bolster. If you roll to your side, then just push the bolster out of the way and rest in a little Shavasana. We're going to take a twist before we're done, but just take a moment to have the back flat. See how your breath feels now that you have more of a neutral spine. And then gently pull to the side that's most comfortable or convenient for you. And slowly sit up. We take the bolster now, take it still vertically, but all the way to the right side of your mat. Now, I like a blanket to pad the hip, so I'm just gonna open a blanket like shoulder stand size and place it there in the middle of the mat. All right, and we're gonna sit close to that bolster with the right leg straight and the left leg bent. And you can lean over to the side as you bend that left leg. And you're gonna twist towards the bolster and come down onto the bolster. Your head can look in either direction. Once you've been down on the bolster for a couple of breaths, cross with your hands and just lift up a little bit and see, can you turn that abdomen a little more to the right? And then lay down in a little deeper twist. You can use that right elbow and forearm to kind of push yourself towards the left to help maintain that twist. Keep your abdomen soft. Eyes soft, face soft. Again, not forcing the breath this time, but observing the breath. All right, and then press with your arms to sit up. We'll just take both legs straight, sit up tall. And we'll move the bolster to the other side. Left leg will stay straight. Right leg will bend back a bit into any comfortable position. Turn the belly and rest onto your bolster. Head can look to either side to be comfortable in your neck. And then see if we can squeeze any more twist out. Press the hands down, lift up. Focus on turning the belly. The chest is probably going to come down flat pretty easily. You can use that left arm to kind of push you back to your right. Keeping an eye on the breath. Not try to force it. Maintaining the softness of your abdomen, eyes and forehead. Great, and then with your arms press to sit up. Straighten out that leg and just sit in an upright Dandasana. Right, we'll switch now to just a plain Shavasana, but you've got props, so you can use the props however you'd like. You can use a bolster behind the knees or the thighs. Have something soft behind your head, that's a minimum. Before we go into Shavasana, we'll bring the knees to the chest, just to be a little symmetrical after the twist. Just a nice lengthening of the lower back. Knees can be together or they can be slightly apart. Pull the knees both towards the chest and towards the head, and then reach the tailbone away. Sacrum releases down into the floor. And then when you're ready, straighten the legs and rest in Shavasana.
No control over the breath now, just let it happen. Let the legs be heavy on the support. Abdomen soft. Release your jaw. Quiet your ears. Soften your eyes. Soften your forehead. Just completely let go. We'll slowly start to come out of this Shavasana. Bend your elbows. Rest your palms on your torso. Bend your knees. Let your feet either rest on the bolster or the floor. You'll slowly roll to the side that's most comfortable or convenient for you. And take all the time that you need to press with your arms to sit up. Head low, eyes closed. Take a moment to thank yourself for coming to class, continuing your practice. Slowly raise your head. Slowly open your eyes. Have a lovely day.